So, let's talk about the story of Python. It's a pretty surprising one, actually. We're going to dive into how a simple holiday project, something literally born out of boredom, somehow grew into one of the biggest, most dominant forces in all of modern technology.
Okay, so what do Monty Python and the world's top programming language have in common? It totally sounds like the setup to a really nerdy joke, doesn't it? But this question, it actually gets right to the heart of Python's quirky and surprisingly accessible origin story.
Yep, you heard that right. The creator, Guido van Rossum, was a huge fan of Monty Python's Flying Circus. He wanted a name that was short, unique, and, well, just a little bit mysterious. And honestly, it set the perfect tone for a language that was about to break all the rules.
All right, let's rewind the clock, way back to the very beginning. Before Python was powering AI and your favorite streaming services, it was just an idea, something to pass the time during a Christmas break.
And this is the guy, Guido van Rossum. Back in December of 1989, he wasn't on some grand mission to change the world. Nope, he was just a programmer in the Netherlands who was looking for a fun project, something to build on an older teaching language he'd worked on, but make it more appealing to the hackers of the day.
And wow, did that hobby project take off. I mean, we're talking lightning speed. It went from just an idea in late '89 to a public release a little over a year later, and then boom, an official 1.0 version by 1994. The momentum was there from the start. And get this, even right out of the gate, this was no toy. The very first public version already had the core DNA that makes Python so powerful today. You had clear ways to handle errors, powerful data types, a system for organizing your code. The foundation was absolutely rock solid from day one. So, with that rock-solid foundation, Python was ready to grow up. And that brings us to the Python 2 era, where the language really started to find its audience and hit its stride.
The 2000s, man, that was a huge decade for Python. Python 2.0 drops in October 2000, bringing in awesome new features like list comprehensions. But maybe more importantly, it introduced a whole new process for how the language itself would evolve, eventually leading to Python 2.7, which became the definitive final version of that series for years to come.
And this, right here, is the secret sauce to Python's success. It wasn't just about the code, it was about building a community. The introduction of these PEPs meant that anyone, anywhere, could propose a change to the language. It turned Python into this massive collaborative project, not just one person's vision.
But, it wasn't all smooth sailing. As Python got more and more popular, some of those fundamental design choices from the early days, well, they started to show their cracks. To secure its future, the community had to make a really bold and, frankly, very risky decision.
And this was the moment of truth. To fix the language's core issues for the long term, they had to release a new version, Python 3, that was not backwards compatible with Python 2. This was a massive gamble that threatened to literally split the community right down the middle.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. These look like tiny changes, right? But oh man, the consequences were huge. The simple print statement became a function, division started acting more, well, intuitively, and crucially, all text became Unicode by default, which was a game changer for making the language truly global. For anyone with a large Python 2 codebase, every single one of these changes meant a lot of work.
Just let that sink in for a second. The transition was so painful and so slow that they had to keep the old version alive and support it for 12 years after the new one was released. 12? It was a long, difficult road for sure, but it was absolutely necessary for what came next.
And that's what brings us to today. After surviving that great divide, Python 3 didn't just crawl back. No, it exploded. It unleashed this incredible wave of innovation that cemented its place right at the top.
This is where all that pain paid off. Big time. Python 3 opened the floodgates for amazing new features. F-strings made working with text a breeze. Async/await totally changed the game for web services. Type hints helped developers write much safer, more robust programs. The language even got powerful new tools like the walrus operator and pattern matching. The pace of improvement was just staggering.
And if anyone still had any doubts, well, this number pretty much ended the conversation. Python 3.11 came out and delivered a jaw-dropping performance boost. We're talking 10 to 60% faster than the previous version. The rebirth was complete. Python wasn't just better and packed with more features, now it was also significantly faster.
So where does that leave us today? Well, that incredible journey from a holiday project to a high-performance language has resulted in Python being woven into the very fabric of our digital world. I mean, seriously, look around. In today's world, Python is everywhere. It has become the undisputed king of data science and artificial intelligence. It's the engine driving this whole AI revolution. But it's also a massive player in web development, automation, and education.
And what that really means is you are using Python every single day, whether you know it or not. It's powering Google's backend, it's recommending your next binge watch on Netflix, it's serving up your Instagram feed, and it's running the algorithms that build your Spotify playlists.
And the language has grown up organizationally too. This isn't just Guido's project anymore. The Python Software Foundation and an elected steering council are now the ones guiding its future, making sure it will outlive any one person. Guido even stepped down from his famous role as benevolent dictator for life, which is a real testament to the strength of the community he helped build.
And through all of these changes, from its very first release to the latest version, from a single creator to a global foundation, this core philosophy has stayed the same. Make it simple, make it readable, and give people the tools they need to get the job done right out of the box. That right there is the secret to its success.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating final thought. Python won because it put human understanding first. So in a future where AI can write more and more code for us, is a language designed for people to read, share, and collaborate on going to be the most valuable tool we have? Something to think about.